They came for her at 2 a.m. No warrant, no warning. Just boots on the ground, blue lights flashing in the night. To them, she was a criminal. But in reality, she was just a school teacher with a conscience. Her name was Nolutando Maseko, and the only thing she was guilty of was speaking up. This is Soweto Files, and this is the story of the statement that vanished. Nolutando lived in a modest RDP house in Orlando East, Soweto. She taught life orientation at a local high school. Beloved by her students, feared by corrupt officials. Because every time the taps ran dry, every time a power outage damaged a fridge, every time a child got sick from dirty water, Nolutando wrote letters, petitions. She called journalists, and one day she called for a community protest. But what started as a peaceful march for basic services turned into chaos. Municipal vehicles burned. SAPS claimed rocks were thrown. By dawn, 5 people were arrested. Nolutando was one of them. She was dragged from her bed in slippers in front of her 9-year-old daughter. Her only question, "Where is the warrant?" There was none. Monday morning, Protea Magistrates Court, Courtroom B. On the docket, State versus Maseko, Nolutando. Charge, incitement to public violence. The prosecutor was Advocate Kus Mokwena, a man who believed every township protest was just another excuse to loot. He stood before the court with a thin file and thick arrogance. Mokwena, "Your Worship, we have a signed statement from Constable Ingubane stating that the accused was observed leading the crowd and encouraging the destruction of property." The legal aid attorney, young, tired, overwhelmed, whispered to Nolutando, "We should request a postponement to gather our own evidence." But Nolutando stood up. "Your Worship, I'd like to address the court." The magistrate hesitated. She continued anyway. "Your Worship, I submit to the court that at the time of the alleged incitement, I was inside Orlando SAPS filing a complaint about blocked sewer drains in our ward." Gasps echoed from the gallery. "And I can prove it." She held up a signed SAPS occurrence book entry at 10:13 a.m., a copy of the reference docket number, a voice note from the ward counselor confirming the meeting. And yet the police say I was across town, starting a riot? The magistrate leaned forward. "Prosecution, is the officer who wrote this statement present for cross-examination?" Adv Mokwena blinked. "Constable Ngubane is unavailable." "Can we see the statement itself?" Silence. "We're still awaiting the original, Your Worship." "Then how did you charge her?" Mokwena looked rattled.
"Your Worship," Nolutando said, "this is not a prosecution, it's persecution." She reminded the court no warrant was issued. No direct evidence tied her to the scene. The only proof was a missing statement from an absent officer. I may be a teacher, but I've taught my students something the justice system seems to have forgotten. You don't get to jail people on assumptions. The magistrate's gavel hit the desk. Case postponed. I want the original police statement and confirmation of the accuser's alibi from SAPS. Mokoena opened his mouth. "One more word and I hold you in contempt," the magistrate snapped. Nolutando turned to the gallery. For the first time since her arrest, she smiled.
A week later, the case was dropped. Constable Ngubane never appeared. The statement never existed. Turns out, someone in SAPS had misunderstood a political instruction to handle community agitators. But Nolutando did more than walk free. She filed a complaint with IPID. She went to media outlets. She spoke at the school assembly. And 2 months later, she was elected ward councilor, the same ward that tried to silence her. This is what justice looks like when it's forced to listen. It took a teacher in slippers to remind the court why we have courts. But what about the people without evidence, without documentation, without confidence to speak? The statement didn't vanish. It never existed. What vanished was accountability. This is Soweto Files, and this was only episode 1.
Bright, no DNA, just South Africa.